What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Project Cars. Now, I wanted to figure out what would be faster, using a wheel or using a controller. Now, this could vary a little bit. I've been driving with a controller more than I've driven with a wheel, so I guess that's one thing. Also, I mean, these aren't going to be perfect laps, but I just wanted to see, just kind of randomly, what would go quicker, a wheel or a controller? So, I mean, it's not that scientific, however, it's just a little bit of fun and just a little bit of testing, really. So I started off by driving the McLaren F1 GT car around the Snetterton 300 circuit. On the left we have the wheel gameplay, on the right we have the controller. I did 4 laps with each car, with each, 4 laps with the wheel, 4 laps with the controller, and these are the fastest. This is the fastest lap of those. So, what did I find here? Well, I found that with a wheel, it's a lot more realistic. Obviously, it's a lot funner to drive with a wheel because you feel like you're actually driving the car. You've obviously got the pedals as well, and it just feels a lot nicer. And the main issue with the controller is that it's really sensitive, I suppose. With a wheel, you can kind of smooth, nice movements. However, with the controller, because it's not really you're driving a car with a wheel, you're not driving a car that has a controller to steer. Kind of little movements with the controller, with the analog sticks, will make the car really kind of judder around a little bit. However, on the most part, I didn't really feel much slower. Going down the straight, trying to keep it in a straight line, was a bit harder with a controller because it would kind of twitch around a little bit. And going around corners, you'd kind of be slowly, twitching around with the analog stick, as you can see probably around most of these corners. With a wheel, it was just a lot smoother. However, it didn't really feel too much faster. It was definitely a funner experience with the wheel. I will also say that I'm driving both of these automatic because I usually drive with a wheel manual. However, I can't drive with a controller manual because I just can't get the whole button layout thing. It doesn't come to my mind. It doesn't make sense for me. So these are both automatic. But at the end of this lap, where it was quite an interesting result actually. With the wheel, I did a 143.596. With the controller, a 143.186. So the controller was a slight little bit faster. Our second test would be with the Ariel Atom V8 at the Hockenheim GP circuit. I wanted to kind of try a fast road car for this one, and what better than the Ariel Atom? This is a pretty hard car to drive because it's quite twitchy. I thought this would be a little bit difficult for the controller, with the controller being a little more twitchy in the first place. Driving a really twitchy car with this could be interesting. It wasn't too bad though. I did actually spin out with the controller. I think it was the controller where I spun out at one point, but not on this lap. This is the best lap that you see here. However, it wasn't too different between the two. They both felt alright. I mean, this is quite a hard car to drive, like I said, and this is with traction control off, stability control off, everything like that. The only thing on is ABS. That's the only thing that I had on, and it was interesting. I mean, like I said, the Ariel Atom has also always been quite a hard car to drive. It's quite slidey, it's quite twitchy, and it's very light. So it's got a reasonably large amount of power and is light, so it makes it quite twitchy. But it's a pretty cool car when you get down to it. As you can see here, it is all very close right now, and the times probably just come down to human error on one lap more than anything, because the controller does go quickest again with a 144.819. The wheel did a 145.8 something. I don't actually have it written down. I think it was like 839 or something. So the controller's like a whole second quicker, which is very interesting. So that means that in both these tests, the controller has been quicker. Now, I could do some other tests. I could do some slower road cars, some slower race cars. I could do like an F1 race car. There are many different challenges, different things I could do. But the gist of it is, I don't really think there's much of a difference. I think it's more on preference. I mean, saying that, I prefer using a wheel. I think it's much nicer and much more realistic. It just feels so much better using a wheel on project cars anyway. However, I think because I use a controller, well, I used to use a controller. I've played project cars more with a controller, and I play a lot of arcade games with controllers. I think because of that, I'm just a little bit better with a controller. However, I have a lot more fun with a wheel. So yeah, in this test, the controller does come out on top. However, I'd say if you want to get a wheel, I think with a lot of practice you probably could be faster with a wheel. Like I said as well earlier, I drive a wheel with manual. If I was doing manual in this race, I would probably have beaten the controller, because I could kind of choose the gears more to my liking. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.